Hello, hello, we are K9, the casting Lyote.
Mike and Sean for the win, Sean.
The components of which are none other than
Husky.
And Day 9. Welcome back, everyone. It's time to go into game number 2. How you feeling, Mike?
I am feeling so good after that. I'm always curious to see how MC plays because we've said it time and time again. Watching him, being a fan of him is like being on a roller coaster where he has really high highs and can dramatically drop down to those lows. But today, it is like the thrill ride, the new ride at Six Flags Magic Mountain. If you are an MC fan, it does look like our Terran player has picked Shakira's Plateau, as he did lose that last game, and they do get to choose. And we will talk about that in just a moment, but it does look like they are indeed ready. The countdown has begun. I just got to ask the crowd out there, are you guys pretty excited for this upcoming game? As they should be. This is going to be awesome.
Is the cheer cannon excited?
Wow. I think that was the longest one so far.
That was a sustained note. As we hop into game number 2, we see oGsMC paused it, so we're actually going to keep the camera on us.
Yeah, keep it right here.
Perfect. Let's go through the 2 stories of these players in this event. You know, MC has a lot of history, but let's not forget the STC came from the open bracket.
Yeah.
Was the only player to go undefeated in pools,
in the
5
group,
and 0.
Yeah, and I feel like he may not have got enough coverage. It does look like they have fixed it, and we're just checking to make sure that they're ready. But yeah, the STC may have not got a lot of coverage in this tournament, but he is one of the best players in this tournament. Going undefeated in those groups against some of the players that we had in there is just crazy shenanigans. So the fact is that he's only lost to Huck so far just shows you how good of a player he really is.
Yeah, I mean, the STC is one of those players who consistently performs well in practice. He is part of the oGsTL training house, but never quite has managed to make as big a splash on the scene as MC or Huck has. This is really his chance to shine, but right now he is looking up against MC. And I looked again at his previous tournament matches, has knocked out 3 incredible Terrans back to back to back. Rain, Puma, Marine King Prime, Idra, Rhett, all have fallen to oGsMC just today.
Speaking of oGsMC, spawning down in the bottom right side, I have a feeling that there are a couple MC fans out there. Please make noise for oGsMC.
And of course, in the bottom left, the only player who can keep the legend of MLG true, that the only champions are those who make a first-time appearance in MLG. It is oGsTheStC.
And also, Sean, ever since Koreans have started playing at MLG, 3 Korean Terrans have taken it. So he's also the only one who can continue that trend. But right now, he is going to be down 1 game. MC looking to seal out this series. And I got to say, after that last game, while it never really came down to a huge macro fest, both players in the early stages microed very well.
Yeah.
I mean, against that kind of early pressure, it can be extremely difficult to stop. And the STC was able to do it.
Looks like STC does have an expansion in mind. He's trying to do his best to get that established, starting to re-wall off his front with depots. 1 Zealot incoming for MC apparently does want to put a good bit of early pressure on his opponent. As we see, MC has even pulled everything out of gas, has not built any cybernetics core. MC might be going for a very unorthodox Zealot push into fast expand.
And once again, we do see, I mean, you mentioned the supply depot there, but there is no barracks in that location. And just to emphasize, the winner of this match will be placed directly into that Code S spot. We do see MC gearing up for exactly what he said, Sean. Boom goes the Nexus. The 1 Zealot is out. And yeah, just going Gateway Expand here before getting that Cyber Core. That does mean he will have a very difficult time dealing with this Scout. But for a little while here, there's not a lot that MC can hide, because you basically are saying, hey, this is what I'm going when you get this Nexus this early.
Yeah, I mean, SCVs are super fast in this game. He can easily slip right around that Zealot. Does look like STC was unable to get quite up into the main, might not know what that Cybernetics Core timing is. This is actually the 3rd pylon for MC. That is a really, really fast expand. But STC might not be falling for it. He might just go.
The STC does have his own expansion up and running here. Now we do see these units in the center of the map, but they would give this 1 Zealot a lot of trouble. It does look like MC trying to run all the way over there. Needs to be careful with this Zealot, Marines, of course, have the range on the Zealots, so there's no way you can take this many Marines with that few units. Oh, another command center.
Yeah, now Husky, as this is the Code S finals, the winner will go into GSL Code S. I will do my GSL Code S impersonation. Just pointing out the SCV building.
Oh, Sean, where's the third base over here? Can we take a look at
look at the third base?
Yeah,
Is this
there it is.
kind of what you were looking about,
Yeah,
Husky? Okay.
yeah, no, it's a whole new meaning when you look at it from that perspective.
You also now see the warp gate coming in, Stalkers en route, MC transferring a solid bit of probes to that backside. And at this point, a big question is, what is the distribution of the Chrono Boost going to be? And you know, actually, if you think about this kind of play by STC, this is nearly equivalent to saying, I'm going to take a gold expansion early. The advantage of having the extra mules and extra SCVs out will allow you to really power and plod forward into that late game. So I love the fact that STC is going for this engineering bay. He wants to get the upgrade started early, because if he's going for the big macro style, he is not going to be strong at the early game. He wants to be strong later, and early upgrades are the best way to set that up.
MC needs to be very careful with this Stalker. He's trying to micro it as best he can, but you really don't want to take any hull damage if you can help it, because, I mean, the shields do regenerate, but there's 0 ways to recover from that damage taken unless STC decides to repair your Stalker. I have a feeling that's not going to happen, and we do see the expansion now up and running for STC. Only a couple SCVs there, and is adding on those 2 additional racks, upgrading this into a 3rd orbital command total. And Sean, would you say getting a command center this early, is it a risk, or is he just going to have to play super defensive?
We actually rarely ever see this in this matchup. It can be a little bit tricky. In the Terran versus Zerg matchup, you have a couple of power units like Hellions with Blue Flames that can control space enough, keep the Zerg behind on 3 bases. In this matchup, though, if you do commit to this early of an orbital command and your opponent sees it, then all of a sudden Protoss realizes he has free reign and can start trying to get away with a lot of shenanigans. We see the double forge upgrades for MC, and oh my gosh, STC desperately needs to start that +1 attack upgrade. Elsewise, his build literally has no solid direction.
The engineering base sitting idly. STC did select it, but still hasn't started that. He's just waiting for the money. There he goes to start that. Now, I have seen MC go for this double forge play. He's going to be chrono boosting out the attack as well as the armor upgrades, kind of negating, you know, EMP. At least you don't waste that upgrade if you rush straight towards that. But this is a very, very powerful play. MC is going to be looking just to get a huge group of units, most likely, with those upgrades. Does he start them right away? Yes, he does. Both of the chrono boosts are going to be dumped into those. And one benefit of doing this, the reason, or one of the reasons it's good against Terran, is you can just continually dump your chronos in there and you will have an upgrade advantage.
Yeah, that's actually one of the nicest things about this build, is that all of a sudden your decisions on chrono boosting are easy. With a lot of 6 warp gate, 1 robo style builds, it can be ambiguous exactly what you should be chrono boosting.
Right.
Should it be the probes? Should I maybe get a few extra gateway units out? Do I really need the observers in that large quantity early on? Well, hey, with 2 forges, just keep chrono boosting them, and upgrades can never be bad.
I do like this out of MC as well. He's playing very, very lean right now. I mean, look at this. He's working on getting out 3 more gateways. He has a Twilight Council and an Observer, plus the upgrades, before really worrying about getting out too many units. And I think that that is a perfect read on his part to kind of realize, all right, my opponent is playing macro mode. I need to make sure to get the upgrades, because you can't engage a Terran player in the mid and late game with just non-upgraded gateway units. There's a very high chance of that not working out in your favor.
Looks like back down, we do see another engineering bay, 2-2 upgrades incoming for the STC. He's just now started to get his medevacs, and look at how early this 3rd command center is. oGsMC will begin powering up a good amount of zealots, but look at this. It's blink and not charge. This is a trademark oGsMC move, because drops are so difficult to manage on this map. So he wants to be able to blink to pick off those medevacs, and that will completely crush STC's ability to do that harassment, and it will force a direct fight where MC has the better upgrades.
Now, another thing I've seen MC do multiple times in his game is get 3 observers. Sean, is that something that Protoss do, or is that more of kind of an MC thing?
It's an MC thing to use in really nice combination with this blink. Again, he hates getting medevacs, harassing him too much.
Yeah, and we do just see that scouting factory at the south, seeing if there is going to be a vulnerable location to go ahead and do those drops. The supplies are favoring MC here a little bit. The army supply is on the side of MC, but the worker supply favoring our Terran player. That's simply because we do not see a 3rd base out of MC, but a lot of times with these double forges, you don't really see that. There is a very tense moment right here as both players are in the center of the map. The medevacs have been spotted, and there's an observer that does spot the left side. But MC needs to be very careful with these blinks.
And now the blink was revealed. It looks like the Terran player does know about those blink stalkers. It looks like there's been a lift. Oh no, MC actually sweeping into this right side. He does not even have charge, but he realizes that he has a big opportunity to make a large play right now.
Yeah, he's going to be feeling pretty good after locking down that expansion. Wasn't able to kill it. There is another command center from the STC. That means he's going to have a lot of energy here trying to take out this factory, which is not going to be a huge deal because at this point it's only served for making starports, and we already have that reactor starport for the STC. But it does just reveal or remove a little bit of the vision in the center of the map. Now, right now, Sean, do you think that MC is going to try and wait until 2-2 plus charge is done?
He definitely wants to wait until he has at least the 2-2 upgrades. He might go a little bit preemptively with the charge, but it looks like the drops will force this to cancel. And
we could see a blink.
Blink. Gonna annihilate one medevac, two medevac falls, but that is exactly what the STC wanted. Everything completely out of position. Is there any way that he can get back in time?
Oh no, the Templar Archives with Psystorm researching. He takes that out, could very well go for the Nexus. There's no force fields in sight. The Zealot's trying to delay this push as long as he possibly can. The Ghosts, though, do get intercepted right here. Can MC recover from being out of position like this? There's the force field. And can he blink over here, though, to get the medevacs? It looks like a couple of them will escape for now. Let's look at the units lost tab. Actually fairly even there.
At this point in time, that was a definite army loss for the STC, but a big base loss for oGsMC. MC definitely needs to do a sort of counter pressure right now. He is at the 2-2 upgrades. Drop play trying to pop in here from the STC, but he is going to have to be careful. Oh, this could be a big blunder.
Yeah, I think he's going to end up losing these couple of units here. The 1-1 is done, and it looks like that one Marauder was trying to lock down that Expo again. But it does look like the MC is going to be holding on here with 2 attack, 2 armor done. And Sean, he has already started that very important 3-3.
This is an extremely fast 3-3, but the problem he's going to run into is that STC has been throwing away units left and right and expanding behind it all the while. So even though STC might be playing a little bit more inefficiently, he's gobbling up so many more resources, and we don't even see a third base mining for MC. This is going to have to be a big play.
He needs to kill this command center at all costs. He does get it, but now he is forced to engage here. The force field going to be trapping some of the units, but every single Terran unit is still shooting. So the force field's only going to prevent some of these units from escaping. And yeah, oGsMC is going to have to back out here. Now, you got to remember, he did kill the command center, which is going to buy him just a little bit of time to try and catch back up.
And now we are seeing the very modern style, getting a War Prism and High Templar hiding inside of it, so that way you can storm from the safety of the nice, cozy War Prism that now is serving orange juice and peanuts.
Yeah, man, after Blizzard kind of beefed them up, you do see a lot more people taking those Warp Prism rides, and that is something that a lot of Terran players do not prepare for until, you know, they have the Warp Prism in their base. As you can see, that's basically undefended here. We do have a potential drop headed out for STC near the south side of his own base, and I really like this from STC, just kind of moving around the map a lot. Now, he did stem right there in the center with all those units, but Medevac's there to heal up, and Psystorm about 3/4 done after getting delayed.
Oh no, is MC close enough? Oh no! MC doesn't see the drop coming at all.
We do have a High Templar here. Does have enough energy for 1 feedback. Is it enough to kill these off, though? They do not have enough energy to kill him. It does look like these probes going to be absolutely vulnerable. MC is completely out of position. He may engage the army in the middle, but he is going to lose a lot of tech here, and he just is barely going to get these upgrades out in time.
And there comes all the Zealots. He's trying to get 3-3, and here comes the big engagement. Oh no, the Blink Stalkers caught completely off guard, but here comes the War Prism. Some giant storms are no doubt incoming, but it is not the center of the map where MC really needs to be worried.
Preemptively storms over there on the left side, and he is able to push this back.
But in the main, that is where he really needs to be worried, and MC loses all of his speed. Zealots, STC continuing to advance forward. There is an Archon morphing up in the middle, but if that Templar Archives dies for the second time, what a painful way to go out. It's going to have to be all upgrades for MC at this point.
Yeah, I mean, it does look like those units still in the main base. Potentially an engagement here in the center. We don't see any of those High Templars in position. The Sentry's completely out of energy after getting hit by that EMP, and MC is forced to back out. The STC is just playing so good in this game.
STC having tons of units going every which way, but still having far better macro than his opponent, just swarming up front with tons of units, and that big drop in the main was key. Can MC pull a miracle?
Well, he does have a couple High Templar remaining. Of course, he doesn't have that Templar Archives after losing it. We could see 1 or 2 more Storms here. He does have enough energy. Is he going to use it now? He could use it on this major army on the south side. Are they going to go off? There goes one, but a nice dodge by our Terran player, deciding to eat the entire Storm to try and clean up the army. His supply is about 30 ahead right now.
8 more Zealots incoming. Does he have enough energy on that Templar? We will not know, as it is still loaded up inside. And MC desperately trying to hold on. He'll even have to likely build some Archons, and the Ghost count, fortunately, is not too high for the STC, hanging down at 2.
Oh man, but this is looking pretty tough for MC. He's about a 40 supply deficit, plus the base for the STC. That 4th one is up and running once again, does have workers there, and it's a planetary, which when all you have is Zealots trying to kill that planetary can be very frustrating. Look at this, the second that Nexus goes down for MC, it's going to go down in another way by getting destroyed by the STC. I can't imagine MC being able to prevent this from happening. He's completely out of position. The final battle is going to commence here in the center. It looks like MC does not have too much. Can he actually hold on here, though? He does manage to push this back, but again, he is still at a pretty big supply disadvantage.
And this expansion is looking to be in a lot of trouble. It looks like, oh no, he's trying to morph in some High Templar to maybe feedback on these medevacs, but they don't quite have enough health, and now it looks like MC is pulling back everything, and the main is vulnerable yet again.
Oh man, I don't think MC is going to be able to recover from this one, as there are so many units down here. MC being pulled every which way, which is the best way, I would say, to play Terran against Protoss, is just try and force them to attack at different locations. The Nexus goes down indeed. The main base Nexus most likely may fall here. Not that it really matters because there's no minerals left. And honestly, STC here, Sean, I think just had such a good game plan.
And there it looks like STC is going to be able to take out MC's main army, but no, might just have a few too many units on the ground. MC has held on for just a little bit longer, but how can he possibly recover?
Wasn't even able to kill off those medevacs, so they're going to be regaining that energy. He does decide to good game. I mean, there at the end, he was at a 50 supply disadvantage, and that means once again, MC is going to be facing elimination, as it is going to be a 2-1 series here moving forward.
Now, this is going to be MC's choice of map. Shakura's Plateau, very difficult to properly execute that sort of Blinkstalker, Zealot, Archon micro, because as you saw, there's so many high ground cliffs where those units can drop to pick you off, put you out of position, and STC only needed to do it once or twice to get the big advantage.
Yeah, and I think it was really smart for him to snipe that Templar Archives, because one way that Protoss defend on this map is leaving those High Templar strewn about, one at each expansion for that very powerful feedback. But unfortunately, for MC, STC's multitasking was just way too good. So we are all tied up. We are going to take a super quick break, but it's only going to be like 30 seconds, man. And right after that, we'll be back with game number 3. I'm Husky.
And I'm Day 9. See you in a minute for match point between these two players tied up 1-1.